Now, in the book, and I think, did I skip it? I guess I skipped the swastika and the yin yang images, but think about those. Those have very certain meanings in certain cultures. But the swastika was actually all over the world. I have an interesting book on symbols that's called the Taoist symbols. And what it is it states that many of these symbols have occurred all over the world sort of simultaneously, which is kind of an odd human thing. But at any rate, they have different meanings for different cultures. So that's to do with symbols. Okay, so here we have some manufactured, more current symbols because they were trying to encourage travel for foreigners, right? People who don't speak English. So this is kind of a universal for phone, universal for mail or post, and that's money, right? Because there's different symbols for money. First aid, umbrella, or I can't find it kind of thing. So that's lost and found. You tend to lose gloves and umbrellas, even though we don't really wear gloves anymore. Lockers, that kind of thing. So they developed these signs. Cook and Shinosky developed these signs so that when people would travel here, they could find easily these different places. So you'd see this, and I'm sure you've seen at least one of these somewhere. Over probably perhaps like a no smoking or a parking. We've all seen this one. That's a really powerful sign that was developed in the 70s. And I actually recall these signs sort of coming um, into the world and into my world when I was growing up. So these signs are just to indicate where you should go. What do you need to do? Is it a male bathroom, female bathroom, that kind of thing? Is it both? What is it? Where are you going to go to sleep? So these would direct people that are coming into the country. All right, logos. This is a very different thing. This is a lot of money is spent on tens of thousands of dollars, even $100,000 at times for big things like ABC, UPS. These are the older classic versions on the left, and these were around a very long time. These had a very long history by logo standards. So this was 56, 61, and 62 by Paul Rand. And you think about that, that guy made some serious money and was very successful. They're very iconic, very clean, very simple, reduced down to their basic elements so you get the message across. At the time with IBM, the reasoning for this stripe imagery, before we had laser printers and dot matrix printers, we had these other printers that kind of left lines, or it would be on lined paper, but the imagery was not as clear as it is now. So that's kind of what that's referring to. So we have these updates in the 21st century, and they become three-dimensionalized. Isn't that interesting? We want to have a light source. We want to have a sense that it has some gravity or some weight like an actual object. I don't exactly know what that's about, but that is how these things have been updated. But not changed a lot because this is still very powerful, and so is UPS. AOL, this logo design was a big deal when it came in 2009. They really wanted to show a differentiation and an expansion, I guess I want to say, of something new and different happening with AOL. AOL had a lot of negative connotations, and they split from Time Warner, so they want to sort of say, here's what you can do with AOL. You can do pictures. This is kind of a theater mask in here that's kind of hidden. You can do record some music. There's different possibilities here. So there's a few images that are important in here, and then there's just some kind of goofy expressive, sorry, my mouse isn't working, goofy expressive stuff, color, tornado of just wildness, you're going to go nuts, it's going to be so fun, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so AOL is trying to get itself identified on its own, and very simple, AOL dot. It's pretty powerful, you think about it, it's simplistic. Typography and layout is different than logo design. You guys really need to think about logo design a little bit here. Typography and layout It's really about the visual. It's about the readability of a typeface, and it's also about like, do you want to use bold or do you want to use italics, that kind of thing. So it's very important that it stand out. This, I believe, what we're looking at right here is Helvetica. It's very boring and has no serif on it, which means like those little um, end pieces. I'll try and find one for you. And then layout is a blueprint for how the book or magazine is going to look. All right, first we're going to look at typefaces. So I'll show you the serif here. This is a serif, that little doohickey right there. So that kind of leads your eye to the next letter. That's what it's supposed to do. All right. Look how old this is, and look at our friend Durer here. That's so amazing. He came up with this typography for the printing press because it had to be uniform. He had to kind of figure it out because handwriting really can be different all the time, right?